and time people out on that stage very, very often, but he's not going to be able to do that today. Instead, he's going to start off on Battlefield, so it should be interesting to see, you know, if he gets that lead, if he goes for the timeout strategy, or if he tries to, I don't know, be aggressive against ZeRo in all situations.
It's tough, and I think that this is, in my opinion, probably one of Bayonetta's more difficult matchups, right? The fact that ZeRo can use options like the peel, and the fact that he gets so much off of his grab game almost negates at points the witch time, right?
Yeah.
You feel a little bit on edge actually using that counter option, knowing that your opponent can get a lot of gains off of you committing to something like that.
Yeah, it's honest. I feel like it depends on who you ask. There's a lot of Diddy players that say that, hey, that matchup's even. You see Bayonetta players say this is her worst matchup, and then some people say Bayonetta has no bad matchups at all. So personally, I always thought this wasn't a great matchup for her. The Bayonetta really just like makes her neutral not as good, and she already doesn't have the best neutral, you know, of all the top tiers. So.
And I think also the way that ZeRo utilizes forward air is going to make it really tough for Child to actually get any witch times at all. Right now, though, a great combo sequence and barely nearly actually taking the stock.
Yeah, luckily for him, Battlefield with those wider blast zones going to let him live a little bit longer from those Bayonetta, you know, aerial combos. Let's see how Child does. I wonder how they even struck to Battlefield, because this I feel like is the stage I wouldn't want to strike to as Bayonetta. I don't think she has a bad stage, but I think of all the stages you could start on, this is probably not the one you want to be on.
Any reason why?
Just the wider blast zone is going to make it a little bit hard to get those KOs. Don't get me wrong, she doesn't really have a terribly hard time getting KOs, but in some situations where she gets an aerial combo, a good aerial confirmed, she's not going to get those, you know, the same % kills she'll get on other stages.
Yeah, there's definitely that extra breathing room, right? And you have to sometimes that difference of inches and pixels actually does matter a lot when you talk about the game as a whole.
That's true, man.
And especially with Bayonetta, she's a character who, you know, excels whenever she's able to get these confirms in the early game. But as we push mid to late, that's when it becomes a bit more difficult to find those succinct combo sequences.
So yeah, she's going to lose her combos, her true combos at later %. She's going to lose. Obviously, her opponent's going to be a little bit more wary of getting witch time at later %. So honestly, she can, and I hate to say this, but she can struggle to get a KO, depending on, you know, the percentages for both characters.
And the lack of commitment that we're seeing from ZeRo. He knows that he's in a pretty good spot overall. I feel like he's gotten past the hump where Bayonetta is going to be doing the very, very terrifying combos to death. So now he's just playing the patient game, just trying to figure out ways where he can force Child to approach. But as you said before, Child, he's not one to commit necessarily. he's willing to play for time, find that alternate win condition if he needs to.
Yeah, Child, this is exactly what I'm talking about. He knows, well, the percents are not as even as they were before. All right, so ZeRo able to take that first stock. I was going to say, you know, the percentages are relatively close. Even if he's not completely in the lead, he'll still kind of, you know, take a break, play defensively, and trying to make his opponent come to him. And I don't think ZeRo's going to really fall for that.
So he gets the witch time, but because of the distance between the peel and ZeRo, it doesn't actually create that slowdown effect for Child to be able to capitalize.
Yeah, the cool thing about that, though, you still get the invulnerability on your body if you witch time anything. So it can get you out of some sticky situations.
And that's the other tool I think that ZeRo has in this matchup, right? That monkey flip. Because, again, it's a command grab. As long as he doesn't go for the kick option, he'll be able to get through the witches pretty easily. Back air, though, connecting.
Yeah, what a clean back air, man. ZeRo's still going to be low. Wow, okay. Into the side blast. So I didn't think that was going to be enough, but I guess it was.
I was just surprised by the interception. Like, Child had a really good handle on where exactly ZeRo was going to be recovering. And that's saying a lot because ZeRo has really made a name for himself for having some of the most unorthodox recoveries as far as Diddy Kong players go.
Yeah, you know, I'm assuming that he went horizontally because he was probably afraid of the, I guess, the lingering nair, falling nair from fouls. But instead, put us up in a bad situation and ended up losing that stock. He's still in a good position now, though, has quite the lead, which is slowly closing in.
That's true, but remember, this is those percentages where Bayonetta can definitely excel, can steal the game away. This very well could happen.
Oh my gosh, I had a flashback of old times, man. Good times back before the nerfs.
Good times for who, man? We're playing for two different teams right now.
All right, wow, Child able to kind of run that one back already, you know, within 15-16% of ZeRo. That's great, man, because he was down by quite a bit.
This is where things definitely change. At this kind of a percentage, ZeRo has a lot of access to a variety of KO options, especially with peel in hand. He's looking for the knockdown into the down tilt, into the up smash. Ooh, gets the knockdown, doesn't complete steps 2 and 3 though.
Yeah, you know, you gotta complete all the steps, can't skip any of them, just miss the banana.
He tried to go straight from the question mark to the profit, and that's a problem. You gotta do the question mark, dude.
Yep. All right, now things are getting kind of scary because honestly, both players at that KO %. Child probably looking, playing patiently, looking for a witch time or just for ZeRo to make one mistake. I love that though. You see ZeRo always playing with that banana. Wow! up till out of nowhere.
That was actually brilliant from him, how he set that up, because he throws the peel out forward to start, right? And so Child really has limited options of escape. He doesn't want to get trapped underneath or on the platform, so ZeRo in his mind is thinking, you know what, I've basically cornered this guy. He's only going to go forward.
Absolutely.
And by forcing Child to make that sort of aerial approach or take that aerial avenue of sorts, that puts him in the perfect position to get hit by that up tilt. Clean. Absolutely clean.
Yeah, but still a very, very close match between the two. I feel like that could have gone either way. Honestly, you know, the way that it was kind of ending, ZeRo made one great play at the end, but I think that was great for Child. He knows that he can go toe-to-toe with ZeRo.
And that would be such a story if Child was able to put ZeRo in the loser's bracket. And I'm sure that he's going to be picking a stage that really augments his character's ability to find those early KOs. Like you said, striking the battlefield, that's a dicey scenario. I feel like some of those combos that he did would have KO'd on a stage like Smashville.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, look, it looks like he's hovering over Dreamland. This is the stage. This is the stage I would expect a Bayonetta player to either strike to or, of course, counter pick. So very similar layout, obviously, to Battlefield. We're going to have much, much closer blast zones. I'm really interested to see, you know, how close this match is compared to the first match.
Certainly can go either way. Like we said, kind of down to the wire at the end there, but ZeRo it feels like he's playing a game of chess. And what Child's trying to do is literally be a child and knock all the pieces off of the table.
That's how I play. All right. Well, you can tell ZeRo, obviously wary of what happened in the first game. Still playing that kind of defensive style, Diddy Kong. Doesn't want to overextend without the banana, but...
Very true. This is what Child needs. Oh! Not quite connecting with the sequence. I know that there's a certain way you have to DI to be able to avoid that.
Yeah, and things will definitely change depending on how much damage your opponent, or how much damage you even have on yourself.
And Child can make the adjustments according to how ZeRo's DI patterns are as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Man, Bayonetta with the banana peel, that is actually the thing that nightmares are made of.
I feel like anybody becomes a better character. They just rise on materialists having a banana in their hand.
And very much a patient game, like we said before. Both players very reluctant to make commitments here. And it makes total sense, especially if you're ZeRo. This is what was so key to him winning last time, was that he didn't get flustered, right? He never felt pressured to approach necessarily. He knew that he had control of the lead, and he knew that he was incredibly confident whenever it came out to winning neutral exchanges over and over again.
Absolutely, and I do want to comment on Child's patience right here. You know, he is down by quite a bit right now, but he knows all he needs is that one opening to get a big damage from an aerial combo, and that's probably what he's looking for. He knows he's down, but it doesn't even matter because I can make that up with two good combos. Not going to overextend and put himself in bad situations, but I will say he's getting hit by a lot of these monkey flip kicks, both the kick and the grab.
That's interesting that he's starting to mix up the kick in there too, right? Oh, because that's going to maybe make Child think, I could use Witch Time perhaps, and ZeRo very potentially could use that as an opportunity to find a very nice punish onto Child.
And you see, look at that Child already making up some of that life deficit with two good aerial combos. He's almost there, man. And honestly, even at this percent, ZeRo's kind of in danger. God forbid he gets hit in the air by a Witch Twist.
Well, that's the thing, is even if they're even on percents, when you look at KO options available, what Diddy Kong has in contrast to Bayonetta, especially with the peel in hand, I think it's night and day. It's
God forbid he gets hit. Ooh, ZeRo, cheating death right there. I feel like that should have been stock, maybe a misinput or a mistiming by Child, but look how close. Look how close. I think ZeRo was up by over like 60-70% in the beginning of this match, and now we see Child with a 2% life lead. And that's it. That's it for Child. No more playing. Yeah,
he doesn't have to. Now that burden of approaching is on ZeRo, but I think ZeRo's really comfortable with playing out the clock down to the final seconds if he needs to.
Oh yeah, ZeRo has all the patience in the world, man. I don't think he's one of those players you can out-patience.
It's that brawl background. It's very strong. That's a little interesting too. Do you think that he threw the banana peel up there, basically baiting Child to catch, just so that he wouldn't be prepared to get hit by the aerial?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if anybody can think that far ahead in the world, I think it's got to be ZeRo.
Man, he is just peppering Child right now with these aerials consistently. Good battle with him, though, able to just escape.
Yeah, and look at this, man. Can you imagine, of course, Diddy Kong is going to have that help with his approach with the banana, but a lot of characters don't really have a way to deal with this. You know, Bayonetta playing kind of camping on the platforms. You have to approach most characters that don't have a reliable projectile. Diddy Kong, of course, will be able to get his way in. That backdoor is going to close out the first stock finally. You look 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in this second game.
Let's make it. Like we said, they're both very, very comfortable, I think, playing to time. Like, ZeRo knows the key to taking a one-on-one against Bayonetta is to not necessarily always approach her, but to force her to approach. She's known for having really good punish options, but her approach options overall, they're not necessarily the best.
Yeah, of all the top tiers, I feel like she has the poorest approach options, maybe like the poorest neutral. But you know, having poor options as a top tier, you're still an amazing character. So
we're about to see maybe exactly why this character is so incredible. Taking that stock out means so much. It means that it really reactivates some of Bayonetta's KO potential.
Absolutely.
And like you said, a bit of a constricted ceiling. I could potentially make it so that we could see some really big dividends in favor of Child.
Yeah, not even KO options. We're going to see a lot more combo options at low percent, like we're seeing right now. Is this going to be enough? No, misses that up air. ZeRo staying calm, always remembering VI correctly. It's always scary once you go up to that blast zone, especially in Dreamline, man.
Yeah, especially because the relation with that platform and the blast zone, incredibly close between the two.
All right, so once there's 1 minute left, I think that's when honestly you can start thinking, oh man, I have the 40% life lead. I don't even really have to play. I just have to avoid him for 60 more seconds. I think that might be what ZeRo's going to try and do. Why even look for a KO option in this situation?
Yeah, it's very possible. Oh, Child. Man, he's just not able to find the follow-ups from ZeRo. Is that just because his DI is just on point?
Yeah, it might be that. Could be ZeRo just mixing up his DI in general. It's really, really hard. If your opponent DI is the same way every single time, it gets easy. Oh! Done. And that is going to be it. But if your opponent changes their DI, you know, every time you hit them, it's going to be even harder to follow it. That's that misdirectional DI.
What a game!
Yeah, that was a very exciting set between the two players. Very, very close. I'm sure Child probably feeling pretty good about that. You know, he didn't take the set, but he definitely kept it very close against the best player in the world, and that's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, it definitely is something maybe to write home about. But the real question is what he could do to actually put a game on the board, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think against Bayonetta, like it's one thing to have close games.
Yeah.
But if you can't ever close out, like, I mean, what's the point of it all at the end?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to say against somebody at ZeRo's caliber of defense. Like, ZeRo's playing that matchup absolutely perfect. It's impossible to not get hit, you know, entire match, but he did his best, played neutral, kept his stage control. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, we see ZeRo at center stage with a banana. Meanwhile, Child trying to play his game around the platforms, and ZeRo just not letting him take control or establish any type of real neutral. You know, ZeRo would get hit here and there, and of course, Bayonetta combos are going to lead to a lot of damage. But for the most part, I think ZeRo had that stage control, had that neutral like established.
Completely agree. Completely agree. And again, ZeRo, like we said, like the way that he plays is just so smart. He's very good at, you know, winning neutral time and time again. And so when it comes to those latter percents, those last hit scenarios, I feel like 9 times out of 10 he's going to be the victor there.
Yeah. So it's not, man, it's everything. It's just having the great defense, having the great neutral, having the stage control, and then having that clutch factor, man. You know, when they're both sitting at 120%, I think every single time we'd see ZeRo take the stock first, and then be able to start on that second stock. So just great play. Man, I love watching ZeRo.
I think that something that people don't really talk about too much is the burden that a top player faces in pools, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the time you see a top player in pools and they just kind of pub stomp everybody. But whenever a good player comes around, there's like that extra burden on them where like, oh wow, I'm considered to be one of the best players in the world and this random guy is going toe to toe with me. Like, that's just like that extra pressure that you already don't need.
It's hard, man. So there's just so many things that go into it.
Because I mean